I have been working on a game secretly for the past 2 years, and now that secret's out, and that game is called Specter Divide, made by Mountaintop Studios. This has been a really fun, interesting project.
The new game that Shroud is promoting, Specter Divide, is just over 3 months old, but is already being racked with cheaters, layoffs, and a disappearing player base. Things aren't looking good, leaving people wondering if this game is dead on arrival.
Hey everybody, before we get into today's video, I wanted to thank our sponsor, JBL Quantum. The JBL Quantum 910 wireless headset is designed with competitive gaming in mind, and its Quantum Sphere 360 technology can help give you the edge in any game where sound matters. Whether you're trying to figure out where on earth the bomb is on Nuke or hear footsteps in Valorant, if you play TAC FPS, you need accurate spatial audio. And there's no other headset out there with JBL Quantum's Quantum Sphere 360 tech, which uses an algorithm to accurately render virtual surround sound alongside head tracking to ensure the positional audio is always precise. Visit jbl.com/gaming and follow JBL Quantum on Instagram to stay on top of the latest updates. Alright, let's get back to the video.
Okay, so Specter Divide is an in-development 3v3 TAC shooter that takes inspiration from CS and Valorant, with the major twist being that players are able to control two bodies in a single round. When playing, you can toss out a puck that contains your Spectre, i.e. your second character. You can then switch back and forth between the Spectre and your OG body, essentially giving you 2 lives. It's like a Phoenix ult mixed with Yoru's kit, and it works pretty well. Just given my short time playing the game, having these 2 lives offers a ton of creativity, allowing you to set up traps and crazy flanks sometimes too. But more importantly, it provides players with more consistent action and agency. Rather than waiting around because you died early or feeling like a round is already over because you had to rotate across the entire map, you can be in 2 places at once. You can get a second chance. Now, the game itself is being developed by Mountaintop Studios, who have a ton of experience on their team, with devs coming from the likes of Bungie, Riot, Respawn, and plenty others. And on top of that, the game is also affiliated with one of the most popular streamers on the planet, Shroud. As one of the game's largest investors, he's been helping shape Specter Divide for quite some time now. Love him or hate him, dude is very good at FPS and plays them for a living, not to mention his insanely large community. A ton of companies would kill to have someone like that to consult on their game and give them money. And as a result of his help and the veteran team behind it, the game is actually really fun. It's more than just a copy, despite its surface level similarities to Valorant. Unfortunately, this has not been enough to keep the game free of troubles. And for people actually playing the game, the main concern for a while has been a familiar one: cheaters.
Okay, low-key.
Did you?
He might be.
Okay.
He might actually be.
Shortly after the game dropped into its early access, players hit Discord and Reddit to complain about already facing cheaters, and the issue only seemed to get worse. Given that we've seen this in the past with games like The Finals, Deadlock for a moment, and, of course, CS2, I felt like I had to take a deeper look. Now, things aren't quite as bad as they are with CS2, with countless people live streaming themselves just full rage hacking, but a quick search on YouTube and you'll find a ton of content showing off and promoting cheats for Specter Divide. And as far as the complaints go, we have once again reached out to the anti-cheat police department, who have been monitoring the situation, as they do with most games, and the community sentiment only seems to be getting worse. Even Coach from the ACPD, like so many others, says that the game itself is very good. It's just that facing cheaters every other match is not. Some have pointed to the use of BattleEye as their anti-cheat of choice, doubting its effectiveness. But Coach explained it's actually not that bad, and it does have kernel access. The issue seems to be that they aren't getting enough reports. Even something as strong as Vanguard wouldn't work as well without people doing manual reports to help supplement the automation. And the reason there aren't enough reports could be that there aren't enough players. The game is in early access right now, but its numbers have been dwindling as of late, with less than 1,000 daily players. And you want to know who usually isn't a part of that group of players? Shroud. Listen, the guy is an investor. He doesn't technically have an obligation to play the game if he doesn't want to. And I mean, Buddy can throw money at a new game every week and still be fine. But it's hard to deny that it's not a great look for the game that Shroud, if Twitch Tracker is to be trusted, seemingly hasn't played the game since September 18th and hasn't uploaded it to his YouTube channel in a month. I'm not saying we have a Concord situation on our hands, but there have been a bunch of releases recently dividing people's attention, from games like Deadlock to Black Ops to even similar titles like Fragpunk. All 3 games Shroud has been giving more attention to, by the way.
Yeah, this game is gonna easily, and I mean easily, take over in 2 years when it comes out, for sure.
Yeah,
It's the first like arena shooter MOBA that actually is good. All the other ones kind of stink.
It also doesn't help that the studio behind the game has had to lay off 13 employees in order to support the future of their game. This isn't to say that Specter Divide is dead in the water. As I mentioned before, the finals faced their own cheating issue, but has since bounced back and continues to go strong. Specter Divide also recently had its first community invitational, and there's still a buzz about this game. People are begging Shroud to come back and play it more because they love it so much, and are asking other fans of FPS to give it an honest chance. We even asked Tens his thought on the situation back in September, and he too says that although the game isn't for everyone, it does bring something very unique to the table.
That game is definitely like a very niche like audience game. I will think there's a lot of people that will like enjoy the game and like actually love it. But for like the pacing, it is very unique. I do think it's a cool game in itself. I'm personally not a fan of like ADS shooters that much, but I actually did enjoy playing that game and also playing in the tournament. It kind of showed like the cool stuff you could do with like supporting yourself. So being able to control 2 lives, I think, is really cool.
Is the game too niche, or is the market just too saturated right now? These are legitimate questions the devs are likely asking themselves. But what's clear is they aren't going to give up. Mountaintop have even claimed that they are committed to working on this game despite the waning audience. They've even privately reached out to the ACPD to see if there are opportunities to work together. And on their official website, the devs have been active, releasing updates on their progress with anti-cheat, patch notes, and community updates. Hell, the CEO even made a post quoting Mark Twain, declaring that Specter Divide is not dead and that they have the resources to fund this game for the long run. As I've said, look at any video on Specter Divide and you will see that there is an audience for this game who are dedicated to it and enjoy the hell out of it, and only want to see more people give it a shot. On top of all that, one of the biggest FPS streamers on the planet has put his name behind this project. So although he's yet to comment on any of these ongoing issues, his continued cosign can go a long way when it comes to boosting player numbers. We just might have to get him to stop playing literally any other game for that to happen. Maybe like he's played the game and he just sees that like people aren't really watching when he plays it, and he's like, I'll lose more money in losing audience members because they don't care about this game than I did investing into the game. Or maybe like he's just like, they're cooking something up and I'm just gonna wait until they're gonna do something big that's gonna differentiate this game even more than the competitors.